police were still searching for 22-year-old Debbie Fream.
Myself and one of my other colleagues had decided that because we knew Debbie had gone to get milk, we were going down to check the local milk bars, and we were travelling back to the office when I saw a silver car fitting the description of Debbie's in Madden Street, just outside the Christian Life Centre, I think it's called. There was a V-shaped dent in the bonnet which indicated that she may have been involved in an accident.
Police are also appealing to anyone who may have information about an accident involving Debbie's silver pulsar found 2 kilometres from home late yesterday.
According to Debbie's de facto, it didn't have that damage when he left it on Thursday.
We examined the car at that time and took photos of the car. The weather was closing in, so it was important to remove the car as quickly as possible. So we then took it to the Forensic Science Laboratory and put it undercover there for further examination. The damage to the front of the car extended from the top of the bonnet down through the grille to the number plate. This indicated to me that it had struck an upright object, possibly a street or road sign, a fence, something fairly tall.
To identify what Debbie's car hit and get a possible lead on where Debbie was, the number plate, which had tiny orange smears on it, was removed for testing.
I examined the substance using a very high-powered microscope to analyse the elemental composition. This was not paint or plastic or timber-based, but related somewhat possibly to a soil or to crushed rock or even brick.
It was more than likely that Debbie's car had hit a brick wall. But was it on her way to get the milk or after? No milk, no groceries, or her purse were found in the car. But other ominous clues were there.
When I examined the car, I noticed that the driver's seat was in a reclining position and pushed nearly all the way back. I gained the impression somebody larger than Debbie drove the car to Madden Street. I also found what appeared to be blood on a blade of grass sitting on the passenger side seat, and I found it appeared to be blood on the driver's seat.
The blood was that of Debbie Fream. But who had driven the car to Madden Street? Was the young mother missing or murdered?
Police have been sent to Carrum Downs, where a woman's body was found a short time ago. It was discovered in grazing land between Wedge Road and Thompson's Road.
Taylor's Road's an unmade road, and it's got grazing paddocks either side of the road, and the body was found between the trees and the wire fence of the paddock. It was suspected that it was the body of Debbie Fream, who had been missing for 2 or 3 days, and whose car we had found in Madden Street in Frankston.
Residents in the Bayside suburbs of Seaford and Frankston are living in terror following the second stabbing murder in recent weeks. The body of Deborah Ann Fream was found beside a dirt road in farmland at Carrum Downs, 10 kilometres from her Seaford home.
Unfortunately, there was nothing at the scene to indicate who the offender might have been. We were still up in the air at that stage.
But while clues to the offender weren't present, he had left telltale signs that might link him to the murder of Elizabeth Stevens, whose body was found exactly 1 month before.
The body was covered by broken branches, and even though I didn't go to the scene of Elizabeth Stevens, I knew that her body had vegetation placed on top of it too. On the grass near where Debbie was concealed, there was a large amount of blood. This indicated to me that she was killed and then hidden behind the bushes. Her dress was pulled up around a midriff and her underclothing was intact, the same as Elizabeth Stevens.
She's died from multiple stab wounds, not only to the neck region, to the, as I said before, the upper body, in what can only be described as a frenzied attack.
When Debbie Fream's body was discovered and after the post-mortem examination, we're in a position to compare the sort of injuries and the post-mortem injuries from that victim against the first case. And what we did notice was that there was evidence of strangulation, there was a similar pattern of stab wounds, there were post-mortem injuries. So Whilst there were a number of indicators that certainly led us to believe that there was a possibility it could be the same killer, we didn't want to give the impression that there was a serial killer on the run.
The problem facing the police was that 2 other young women had also been murdered in the area within the last 3 years.
The body of 25-year-old Michelle Brown was found in March last year, and Sarah McDermott was abducted from Cannock railway station in 1990. Her body was never found.
The connection to a serial killer was inevitable.
If there is a serial killer at work here, it's places like this where he stalks his prey. This area is full of young women and single mothers, people who used to feel safe here, but no longer.
My husband won't let me out after dark unless I've got one of the dogs with me.
Suburbia is not a safe place to live anymore.
I have to go with my husband, I don't feel safe with a girlfriend.
Your friend's up the road, but you're too scared to go and see them.
The bad guys are winning and that makes you angry.
I go to the nightclubs and that, and there aren't that many single girls going there now, because it's too dangerous for them to be out at night time.
Police are pouring resources into finding the murderer, who may well be a serial killer.
It was clear that a lot of people in Frankston were frightened, too frightened to go out at night.
We were all expecting another murder. You know, it was just this, whoever the killer was at this stage had developed an appetite for it. The most important thing was to try and catch the killer. You publicise the locations of caravans, as many photos of Elizabeth and Debbie, information about the car that she was driving, anything that might lead to the killer.
A number of people rang in as a result of police to the community from the media. Witnesses that came forward said that they'd seen a tall man return to the vehicle after it had been located in Madden Street and enter the vehicle and take some goods from it. Some of the other reports we got indicated that Debbie was seen in the vehicle with a male, that the vehicle was driving erratically through the streets of Frankston. There'd been some attempt to flash high beam, which gave the investigators our first clues that Debbie had in fact been abducted. We were confident that the offender had driven the vehicle back to Madden Street, and the main clue it gave us was we thought he lived within a walking vicinity of that area. And in order to flush out a potential offender or suspect, we called upon the services of our criminal profiler.
I was asked to have a look at the 2 murders that had occurred to that point to see if I could provide some insight in relation to the particular individual that might be involved in committing these murders. Typically, serial killers start their killing between the ages of 18 to 24. These kinds of individuals have a very rich fantasy life.